Going beyond the headlines. Asking the questions you want answered. Exploring government policies and how they impact you. We are delving deeper.
Good evening and welcome to Delving Deeper. I'm your host, Kimberly D'Souza. Well, we are in the midst of the Carnival season, and this evening we're going to be talking about Kiddies Carnival. And so joining me this evening, of course, is the project lead at the Red Cross Children's Carnival 2023, Mr. Joel Bailey, and also a cultural advisor at the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Carnival, Mr. Randall Halfhide. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome. Pleasure.
Now, I'm very excited to have you here, and I'm going to start with you first, Mr. Bailey, because Kiddies Carnival is back. It's making its return after a 2-year hiatus because of the pandemic.
Yes.
Tell us what we can expect.
Well, I mean, it has been 2 years, right? 2023 has been dubbed the mother of carnivals, and you can't have the mother of carnivals without the children, right? So, we have to look at the present to make sure that we have a future. So what we did is we spoke to the stakeholders, and we've created a new twist to Kiddies Carnival. So for the spectators and for persons at home, we have some new additions. So persons who are at the stands, who are in the grandstands, for example, there will be different games and activities to keep them involved. And then persons at home as well will now have activities that they can join into. They could help out with people's choice categories and things like that. They can also go onto their social media platforms and give their opinions. And we try to make sure that it's interactive because we want all the kids, whether they are here, whether they are in person or they're at home, to be participants.
Yeah. Mr. Halfhide, anything you wanted to add on that point as well?
Well, for me, Kiddies Carnival is something I've grown up with. And so, but the actual event is, 66 years old?
66, yeah.
66 years old, and it started back in the 1950s under Lady Beetham. In case you're driving up and down the highway, you will know the name. But she started it, and then the impresario, Aubrey Adams, took it over. And he is the one who actually gave it the name Red Cross Kiddies Carnival. That has since changed to Red Cross Children's Carnival because of the dynamic of the Red Cross, what they considered a kid. But it has a fair amount of history, and as Joel said, things do evolve. So we look at what the audience expects, we look at what the participants expect, and we continually learn. People feel, oh, you're doing it for 66 years. You have it down. No. We continue to learn each and every year. People come to us with ideas. We try it. Some work, some don't work. And one of the things that we did in the hiatus was we did the Young Designers, what's called V65. It was our 65th anniversary. And we looked at how do we develop young designers and young participants that would enhance the Red Cross Kiddies Carnival experience. And it was a tremendous success. We could have done it around that time. This year, I think we're looking to repeat it again. But this time it'll have to be in August, July, August, purely because we want to get people, the carnival experts, to be part of this experience and develop kids.
Yeah. Now, I like that Mr. Halfhide mentioned the V65 because it's coming again this year. Yeah. What was the thought process going into continuing that project this year?
Well, as Randy said, the success was seen where when we look at the students, well, I call them students, when we look at how they evolved from the start of the competition to the end. So what they did, I think I should take this time to explain. What they did is they presented to us a concept of a drawing of a costume, right? And we would have taken them through workshops and shopping sprees, had them we paired them with
different designers,
established designers in the industry, so that they could take this idea and turn it into an actual prototype, right? Actual doll that they made. And we also saw a development in some of them because some of the personalities were introverts, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And you saw how they blossomed at the end because they felt that they found their niche. What it also did is it showed them the back end of mass, the design aspect of it. And last thing that it also did is also show them a different options for professions in the future. Because remember, you just think of mass as you own a mass band, it gets made, and you sell costumes. But there are so many different parts. So like they would have met, the photographers, the wire benders, all these different things. So it opened up a whole new, a vast majority of professions for them in the future.
Yeah. Who are some of the designers they would have been partnered with?
We had people like Christopher Santos and Greg Medina
Yeah.
who did it. We had photographers like Mark Lindesey, Scully,
Yeah.
a number of, and what was beautiful about it? We were worried about who we going to get. People approached us. There's a lot of knowledge out there that people want to share.
Yeah.
Douglas John and Elwin, they are great wire benders. And they're young. But guess what? They don't stay young forever. And using their talent, I would say that was one of the best experiences because all of a sudden, the young students got a chance to take a straight piece of wire and create, right? Even working with photography. I mean, I kept some of the images because we brought along a Moko Jambi and said, you photograph this.
In your own way.
And on your phone, we're not giving you a Nike or any fancy brand. It's on your phone that everybody can do. And under the guidance of somebody like Mark and so on, they created beautiful images. And they suddenly realized, hey, I can do this. And that kind of secures a history for Carnival because now you have all these young people who have just a glimpse of what they can do. As a matter of fact, in one of the things we want to do for this year's production is bringing some of the young people who did the photography, and they are going to be our junior photographers. They have the ability and the passes and all that goes along with the media to go down the track and photograph and experience what you as journalists and you as people behind the cameras, what they experience. Who knows?
Wow.
Now, Randy is our cultural advisor, right? So there's a vast wealth of knowledge that he has here. But I will admit that during the entire, especially during the workshops, I learned a lot about the history of Carnival and a lot of different things that I did not know occurred or happened or existed. And, sometimes he'll be behind the camera and he'll be talking to Randy and he'll say, well, this happened in 19 this and that. And it was enjoyable for me, so I can imagine how it was for the kids. So, with all of this, we definitely decided that we're going to continue to do the season 2. We'll start to film season 2 later on this year. And we are going to do this every single year once given the opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. I like where that's going. Now, in terms, going back to Kitty's Carnival, of course, and I'm coming to you, Mr. Halfhide. I mean, what sort of preparation went into preparing to stage this return that's happening this year?
Well, I think that's a question better posed to you, Joanne, because he's the chairman. All I know is that we are a committee that works. I think we don't ever stop working.
Nah.
Right? It is
Even during the pandemic?
even during the
Remember, we had
pandemic.
Yeah,
DV65, so we never
DV65,
stopped.
yes.
Never
It's a
stopped.
continuous thing because what people see is a stage show. What they don't see is the months of preparation. I mean, people like Lisa McCarthy and all these people are working to get prizes and volunteers and food and stuff. It's a lot of stuff that goes into that 5-hour, 6-hour production.
Yeah. I mean, I am an event planner. I mean, I've done many different projects, but I must admit that this is a big one. There are so many moving parts from behind, and what I would say is that while there may be one committee that is spearheading everything, we need so much help, and we get so much help, volunteers and so forth. So it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of calls. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of asking / asking nicely. Because as you said, we want to make sure that kids, as I keep saying, it's 2 years. It has been 2 years, right? And this is Children's Carnival. So we want it to be for the children themselves. So we want to make sure that when they come, they have an enjoyable day. We don't want it to be that, God, mommy, it's hot and just sitting down here. No, we want the kids to leave there really enjoying themselves, give them some giveaways, and we have some, as I said, we're gonna have some games going on for the spectators. We want to make sure we have all the prizes, and it's a lot of work to put all of this together. But once you have a good team with any project that you're doing, once you have a good team and you have people who are really invested in it with their heart, remember this is Red Cross. This is something that you do because you want to help, you want to be a part of it. And I must say thanks to the entire team for working hard at this.
Yeah. Now, with Red Cross Children's Carnival, is it that you have designers with different bands that the children can play in, or how exactly does it work?
Well, it's a competition. Let's start there. It's a competition. People have their own designers, ranging from everything from a school student to professional designers, right? We were lucky, and I'm going to give you a bit of history, that many of our major designers passed to Red Cross. If you remember from Milan of the Hummingbird, the kind of game changer for costuming done by Peter Minshall, Sharian Guy made her first appearance at the Red Cross Kiddies Carnival and stunned the whole carnival with its moving parts. We know Rosalind Gabriel, but before Rosalind Gabriel, there were people like Carmen Williams and Chung Smoska who had bands of 500 kids. And people tend to forget the history, but you need to build on that to secure the future. So it's something that is ongoing. It's always ongoing. And you need all these working parts to work.
Yes.
Picture, more than 2,000 kids in the savannah, and we have to get them across the stage, have a good time, and return home safely.
I see the two important things. They must have a good time and they must be safe.
Yeah. Any sort of precautionary measures for parents before they bring their children down, or anything you want them to know as they partake in this?
I think in normal COVID protocols will direct them. I mean, if your child is runny nose or coughing, not to bring that child out. If you suddenly realize that you put your hand on their forehead and the temperature is up, that child should not come. Right? They should not come. And they can enjoy it live on TV.
Of course.
Yes. Live, we're not too sure it's live, but it's going to be. Yeah. So we're not, we have to encourage people to come.
Yeah.
But come safely. That's the main thing. Now, I'll give you a little tidbit in that, and Jill probably, the president of Red Cross, would probably have my neck for this, but a lot of people, like even COVID, you watch the Red Cross. And a lot of people don't understand that why is Red Cross involved in Kiddies Carnival? The two just doesn't seem. And in going through the history, what we realize, that symbol is a symbol of hope. And it's a symbol that kids especially must feel safe gravitating to. The public, you only see the Red Cross in times of disaster. What you don't know is the amount of learning and teaching that the Red Cross does to prepare us for disasters. And that is a symbol that must never be feared. It must never be misunderstood. So bringing people through a national festival like Carnival, that symbol is something that you look forward to. Growing up, the Red Cross Kiddie Carnival was the epitome of you want this? Hey, you're happening. But it's more than that. I always tell people it's more than just a kiddies carnival. It's more than just a show. It is getting people to understand what that symbol is. It's in and among the community, and it's doing well. But how do we reach the community? The national festival. And I guarantee you, off stage, you'll see all the volunteers helping in case you step on a rock or whatever. But more importantly, you have to learn that symbol, the Red Cross, is a symbol of hope. And that's what we want to emphasize. In COVID, that is the people that tell you, wear the mask, be safe.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Bailey, I'm coming to you because I know that this year as well, you're supposed to be launching, or the organization is supposed to be launching, that Children's Carnival, the digital magazine. Tell us about the magazine and why was 2023 chosen as the year to launch this project?
After the V65 competition, as I mentioned before, I learned a lot. Right? As an adult, I can say I learned a lot. And this guy sitting next to me here has a lot of knowledge up here and a lot of memories up there. part of something that we want to see in that magazine is a way to get some of that knowledge on paper, get it documented, so that it can be passed on from generation to
So
generation.
it's not just images.
No, it's not just images.
Right.
It's a magazine, so it's
Yes.
gonna have stories. It's gonna have.
Yes.
It's gonna showcase. One is gonna showcase the creativity of the kids. Right. We want to be able to see what happened in previous years, learn from what happened in previous years, and it's difficult right now. Now we do have the internet, but there's no one particular storage that we can access everything about Kiddies Carnival and about the creativity of children in Trinidad and Tobago and whatnot. And we think that the magazine is the best way to carry that forward. So coming out of the pandemic, we decided that there are 3 legs that we are going to be standing on when it comes to Carnival. When we're speaking of Red Cross, it's going to be the V65 competition, it's going to be the stage show, as well as this magazine. So it's a way for persons or the creators who have helped in the previous years to be able to document this, to carry this forward. And it's a magazine that we're going to have different volumes of, because you can't get all of this information and put it in a handful of pages. You're going to have to continue doing this periodically.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts as well. I mean, I know that Joel is relying on you heavily because of your knowledge that you have for Carnival. And I'm just wondering, how significant this magazine is, not just for you, but for everybody looking on.
I think it's very significant. Same with Joel lean on me, I lean on a person called Richard Bartholomew, who made masks for like 25 years, 23 years, all kids. And Richard has the wealth of knowledge he would go to Red Cross and take all these little notes. And unfortunately, these notes are with Richard. They were with the late Tora Dumbell, who just passed. She was a judge for many years. So as Joel said, it's all fragmented all over. We're trying to bring it in. As a matter of fact, one of the appeals that we are looking forward to, we are trying to find the Junior Carnival Queen from 1965 and 56, 1956. Yeah. And we found some. We found some that our grandmothers know, but they were the Junior Carnival Queens of those days. And we need to document every year and every costume that won. There's not one single source that we can put that. So here's an appeal. If there's a Carnival Queen out there, a Junior Carnival Queen from whatever era, please contact the Red Cross. We need your information.
Nice. I know it's going to reach to the ears. Who needs to hear it? Coming to you, I know that the Kiddies Carnival is scheduled for February 11th.
Correct.
Is registration still ongoing? How can people get in contact with the organization?
Well, registration is open. The deadline, I believe, is the 7th of February at 5 o'clock. That's the deadline for persons to bring in their registration forms. It's going pretty well. What we did, though, is we would have contacted all the stakeholders just to make sure we get a feel as to where they're at. Of course, because we're coming out of COVID, we wanted to make sure that people are still interested. And we also would like to let them understand that we're doing our part and we do things that whatever we need to put in place to help with any issues that they have, we will. We are calling on persons to schools and the wider public, come and register. You can get the form online. You could go on our website, right, ttrs.org, and you can download the form, you fill out the form, and you bring it in, right? You can contact us at 264-2161. But I want people to understand that although it's a short period, like if you choose to do this now, people are saying, I may not be able to create an entire band and outfit all these kids with costumes, but you can do individuals. Right, so there are different ways that you can enter in. I wouldn't say it's a short period, but you still have a month, and you can still do individual costumes and whatnot to enter. So, and as you said, persons are working on some great prizes.
Yeah.
So,
just to clarify, what are the ages for these children to register?
We have everything from babes in arms, which is from 3 months up, and we go as far as 16. I think the final categories, boys and girls up to 16 years.
Yeah. And what are the categories? And do you have some of the prizes that we can win, that the children can win?
Well, they got a chance to jet off an American Airlines.
Ah, very nice.
That's for the king and queen, I think. And
yeah, various
prizes. And we're still looking. The more, I think, and this is another appeal, I get to do all the ads with the appeals, Joel. we always have to the corporate Trinidad and Tobago. We need help. We need help. We need help in prizes. A lot of people can't give us cash, but guess what? They can give us product. You know, and if that is easier, great. It works. Kids like to get stuff, and I don't think we can ever pay the parents, because when you look at a costume could cost anywhere upwards of say $15,000 to $20,000 an individual costume, and then you go and you win a trophy, and so what you're really winning is bragging rights, and what you're really winning is the memory of a carnival you'll never forget. I mean, I can safely say I was a participant, and then I was a designer. I'm a judge, was a judge, and now I'm on the committee that organizes. And I, like all the other volunteers, want to give back because it was and still is an experience that I do ever want to forget. Red Cross Kiddies Carnival, I remember waiting for my godmother who would take me. And that little Hillman minx would come up and I'd go like, I'm ready from 9 o'clock. She wouldn't start until 12. But you were so excited about it. And this is the experience I will never forget. And I'm hoping that the young people who participate in Red Cross, they don't forget. And again, I have to bow my head, and Joel will back me on this, to all the volunteers that create these memories now for these young people.
Well, Mr. Halfhide, final thoughts.
I urge people to come out. I urge people to create the 2023 memory of Red Cross Kiddies Carnival, and help us grow from this stage to beyond. So when I am honored to come in my little, walking stick, I can say I was part of this
For a while.
And feel proud. And really, I'm proud now, but really feel proud. I know a lot of people, when they sit in the stand and they watch and they see the kids crossing and have a good time, there's a sense of pride. There's a sense of pride.
Mr. Bailey.
I just like to echo what he said there. It is a sense of pride. When you, at points in time, you may take a step back when you're doing an event, and one at this magnitude. Let's say you're up in the stands and you look down and you see everything happening. You see all the different parts, the synthesis of everything, and everybody doing their parts, especially volunteers, because we get volunteers in large amounts. We need them, right? So it's just a level of pride to see it being executed. I want persons to know, just bring your kids. You know what we've done this year? All kids are free, right? So you just have to buy a ticket for the parents and the adults, but you can bring any number of kids that you want, because you just want them to come and participate. It's Children's Carnival. They shouldn't pay to come, right? So at least this year, they'll be coming for free. And we just want them to come and really, either you can participate or you can spectate. If you're spectating, technically you're participating, because we're going to have so much going on that you're going to have a good time, a great time.
Do we have any idea on the type of activities you're going to have for the ones who are spectating as yet?
For persons spectating, we're going to have a lot of games going on in the stands itself, right? We're going to have some online games. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have, kids helping give people's choice. And we just plan to have so much going on that they're just going to enjoy the day. We just want to make sure they enjoy the day. And even they themselves, if you are in the stands, you'll probably be going home with some prizes as well.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing the event. And of course, I wish you gentlemen all the best and good luck, of course, for this year's staging of the Children's Carnival.
Thank you very
So thank
much.
you so much, Mr. Halfhide. Thank you so much, Mr. Bailey, for joining us on this week's episode.
Thanks for the opportunity as well.
And that's our show. Join us at the same time next week for another edition of Delving Deeper. I am Kimberly D'Souza, and on behalf of our entire crew, have a good night.